My name's Neil Quartaro. I'm a partner with the law firm Cozen O'Connor, and I practice in the Trade and Transportation Group in the New York office. Well, the CMA really is the premier maritime event in the New York area. As I'm sure you've seen from walking around, seeing the vendors, flag representatives, service providers, ship owners, this is really the time and the place when the maritime industry in New York and the rest of the United States, and very often, when time permits, our friends from overseas, this is the time and place when they all gather in the New York area, looking at new products, going over some of the things that are happening, and of course, particularly this year, trying to figure out what is going to happen in the upcoming year. Well, some of these lessons are still playing out. As every person has seen recently, there is severe supply chain congestion, and that's occurring across the board in not just the container shipping industry, which of course people are focused on with the approach of the holiday season, but in many other industries as well. Many of these problems actually stem back to the beginning of COVID, and in some cases even arose prior to COVID. These issues are still working their way through, and it's going to be quite some time, I think, until really the full effect of the impact of COVID is felt on the supply chain, in particular, the shortage of labor. I think in a certain way, there is a regularity that has now been established. The reality is, for example, crew need to come on and off ships, and that occurs in different places around the world. While there have been difficulties getting crew in and out of countries due to COVID restrictions, my experience certainly in the last 6 to 8 months is that those restrictions really have been overcome in order to manage that particular aspect of ship owning and operation. With respect to the ashore operations, I'm not sure that they ever will go back. I think that many ship owners, many service providers, certainly many law firms have discovered that there is a certain capacity to work remotely as efficiently and perhaps even in some cases more efficiently than a 5-day-a-week in the office regime. I don't think that there is going to be a wholesale return to that kind of office structure, at least as long as profits stay up and workers can kind of maintain their efficiency in a remote environment. Well, attracting talent into the shipping industry breaks down by which part of the shipping industry we're talking about. I think the reality is that fewer and fewer people in industrialized nations are interested in a career sailing the 7 seas as a merchant mariner. Thankfully, there is still a fair number of people that are going to our maritime colleges here in the United States and elsewhere, and we are still turning out qualified mariners, but we're probably not turning out enough of them. We certainly need to try and expand efforts, and you'll see some of the maritime colleges, particularly from the U.S. East Coast, are here at the CMA precisely for that reason. And they're really trying to draw more young people into the industry on the shipping side. On the service provider side, it varies, I think, significantly by industry. As I mentioned, I'm with Cozen O'Connor. One of the things that we've done recently is establish a scholarship to try and bring in young talent on the maritime law side and try and maybe even diversify the workforce, which could certainly stand some diversification.